Hi guys, and welcome to your handover video of the Golf Mark 8 in the R-Line. So today I'm going to be running you through your car. Please note that this particular version that we're looking at does not have any additional factory options. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to talk about is locking and unlocking the car via the keyless access. Yes, you have a key and you can use that to get in or out of the car, but the easiest way to do it is to use the actual haptic feedback that's located on the door handle. So to give you an idea, at the moment the car's unlocked. You can tell because the mirrors are folded out. So if you wanted to lock the car, that little button haptic sort of feedback sort of touch that you see there, if you just push it, that can actually lock the car and you'll notice that the mirrors fold in. If you want to unlock the vehicle, just with a straight hand, just reach in through the door handle, like so, and again, you'll notice that the mirrors fold out. In regards to filling up the car with our fuel cap, it actually runs off the central locking. So again, if the car's unlocked, we can tell by the mirror, just simply on the top left, just push on it, and it'll actually spring open for you as well. And then obviously once you're done filling up, just close it the reverse way. In regards to getting into the back of the car via the hatch, you actually use the badge as the entry point and as the handle. So with a thumb, just push it up the top and then just pull it upwards like so. And now you're in. If you wish to drop the floor down, so the floor that's here, you can actually just pull it up towards you and then push it back inside. That'll actually give you additional depth. It might be a bit hard to see with the lighting, I do apologise for that, but in the event if you need to access the spare, the flooring just lifts up again, like so. It actually gets held by these triangles, but that allows you access. In the event if you need child locks, they're actually located on the side of the door, just here with the symbol. What you do is you put the jackknife portion of the key in here and you turn it as well, and that'll turn on the child locks. On your actual new key, there's actually a button located just here. So if you actually push that in, the back of the key actually comes out, that's your jackknife. If you wish to access the engine bay, you've got the lever here that will actually release it, just pull on it, like so. Things to know inside the engine bay. If you wish to check your oil, you've got the dipstick just here. If you wish to top up your wiper fluid, we can just do it in here. There's also a catcher that's provided. Also in regards to your battery, you've got your positive and negative links, and then they also give you a backup one too, just in case it's too hard to get to this one. In regards to adjustment for your seat, you've got lumbar support located on this lever just here. Your back support is controlled via that little round dial just there. And then the height adjustment is controlled here. You can either raise the seat upwards by pumping it up, or you can drop the seat down by pumping it down. If you wish to slide the seat forwards and backwards, it might be a little bit hard to see due to the lighting, but there's actually a lever just here. So if you pull on that, then you can slide your seat forwards and backwards. Now back to the steering wheel. If we have a look on the right lever here, we've got our wipers. So what you can actually do from the neutral position, if you want to have your wipers turn on automatically, just have it sit in the first lockup position. Also, you do get paddle shifts on the R-Line, which are located on the left side here and on the right side here, so you can actually manually adjust what gear that you've selected. Also on the steering column down here, there's actually a lever, so if you want to move the steering column forward or backwards or raise the height of it or drop the height of it, release that lever first. Now with the new steering wheel, you'll notice that we've got buttons on the left and the right hand side. Being that this is the R-Line, it actually gets the really nice haptic steering wheel, so there's no sort of physical buttons anymore, but it's all done via touch, just like what your smartphone does. So what we'll do first is we'll look at the right side here. You do get voice control, so if you activate it, your screen will change and then the car can actually listen out to what it is that's required. There is a list of commands that you can look up. Also, the view button here, If we're looking at the digital dash, which is now standard, if I actually push the view button, you can actually change the style of it. So you can have the mapping system come up there. You can have your adaptive cruise settings come up as well. You can have digital speedo, or if you wanted to change that to something else, you can. So there's a few options there, which is quite nice. On the left and the right hand side here, if I actually push one of these buttons, you can actually change what's shown. So for example, if I wanted to have consumption on this side, and then on the right side I wanted to show, like, say, my driving time, you can actually change it, which is really good. And that also works with, again, if you're going to change the view and you go to the map, for example, you can actually still run that, which is quite nice. Down the bottom, you'll see that there's a list of items as well. So things like your auto headlights, you've got your adaptive cruise control settings, you've got your digital speedo as well. But the great thing with this new digital dash is it is all customizable, but the controls to change all of that are located just there. Below that, down here, you've got your track selection or your radio station selection. You just slide your thumb. Now, on the left side of the steering wheel, we've got our volume control for the music just here. We've also got this button here, which actually turns on and turns off the cruise control. So you'll notice down the bottom right here, there's a little kilometer symbol that has 3 dashes. If I turn off the adaptive cruise, it will actually just show your odometer. But once it's active, it's waiting for me to sort of pre-program a set speed. Now, I've got an option here, so you can actually increase increments by 1, or if you push and hold down, like say the plus button here, you can actually change the increments a bit quicker if you need to, or you can decrease by pushing the minus button here as well. Res and set will either resume the cruise control. It won't obviously do it at the moment because we're not moving, or you can push set to set a new cruise control speed. The middle button just here allows us to change the distance, so you can actually choose between 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 seconds as a gap between you and the car that's in front. Again, depending on if you've got your adaptive cruise screen here or if it's centralized, obviously that's your preference as the driver. The last button I want to talk about is this button here. This is the travel assist button. Now again, it's not going to work at the moment because we're not driving the car, but essentially what it does is it turns on your adaptive cruise control and your lane assistant, and it gives you momentary semi-autonomous driving while on highways and freeways. Now in the center console, there's a few items that are located down here. So for example, we've got our park brake. Now this car doesn't have a traditional handbrake, it's just a button, so you can to release it, if you push your foot down on the brake and push the button down, it will come off and you'll notice that the light won't illuminate anymore. If you pull it upwards, the park brake's now been turned on and again the light will illuminate. So think of it this way, you're not using a lever anymore to release or pull up, you're just using it with the button now. Another good thing to remember too is if you accidentally leave it on and you try to drive off, it will auto release for you. Now with the new shifter, again, if our foot's on the brake, you just slide it forwards and backwards really. So for example, if you want to go into drive or sports mode, you can just pull it down towards you. If you flick it down again, you can actually change between drive and sport. If you look at the digital dash, it actually lets you know, see how the bottom's changing there, which is quite good. If I want to take it back into neutral, I can. If I want to put the car into reverse, I can as well. You just push it forward like what I've just done. When the car's in reverse, you'll notice that the screen will change and it will show your rear camera and it will show your distance control screen too with your front and rear sensors. Now to actually engage the engine and to turn the car on, as long as your foot's on the brake, push this button, that'll turn the car on. It'll also turn the car off too. Just above the push button, you have your little pocket here, which gives you your wireless phone charging. So as long as your device is relevant and it has the wireless charging technology inside, you can just put your phone down and the screen will actually notify you when your device has started to charge. You'll also notice too, if you still want to plug in, you still can, as we do provide 2 USB-C ports in the front. Now, just above the phone pocket, we actually have another set of buttons. So for example, we've got our hazard light located just here. If you wish to interact with your safety systems, if you push the assist button, this screen will actually come up on your head unit, and then anything that's sort of coloured in blue, so for example with our blind spot indicator, which is part of side assist, you can actually interact with those features and actually change them to your liking, as you can see. We also have climate as well, so if I push on the climate button and we have a look up here, we've now got our new screen. So again, you can change the car's airflow, what's happening with it. Don't forget, on this particular model, you actually get 3-zone air conditioning. So the driver, the front passenger, and any rear passengers is actually, there can actually essentially be 3 different temperatures running inside the car. If you want to change any of that, this is where you do it. Next on this one, we have the P menu button. This one allows us to bring up both the park distance control screen and the rear camera. Or if I push it again, you've also got your park assist as well. So the car can do its self parking, it can do bay parking, and it can also do reverse parallel parking. So the last button that I'm going to talk about here is the mode button. So if I push the mode button, this is where you can actually control what drive mode the car is in. So for example, there's sports mode, there's comfort mode, there's eco mode. Individual actually lets you personalize how you want the car to sort of function as well, so you can have a bit of a play around with that. If you're curious to know what changes per drive mode, you can actually just push the little information button there as well. Now moving up closer to the screen, you'll notice we've got this sort of haptic bar that sits just here. So this haptic bar is used for 2 reasons. So one, you can actually increase or decrease the climate control. Okay, you can even just slide your finger up or down too, if that helps. Same on the driver's side, so you notice that that'll change. Also in regards to music, so for example, if you want to tap either plus or minus, that'll also allow you to control the sound too. Now guys, I do apologise about the glare that's coming through the window. I can't help that. But just one other thing that I wanted to show you quickly was with the new interior lights, to actually turn them on and off, it's actually just haptic touch now. So if you just actually push on here, like so, you can actually turn them both on. Okay, that's also the same for if you're sitting in the back of the car as well. Now guys, with the new screen, you've got a button here that can sort of flick between your different items, or you can actually just touch it with your finger as well, if that's helpful. Now you'll also notice that there's quite a few options here. So for example, like we'll start on telephone. If you wish to connect your device, if you go into your Bluetooth settings, whether it be if you're running like an Android device or an iPhone, this connection will pop up, the VW7115. Those 4 numbers represent the last 4 digits of your VIN number, so it is a unique sort of connection as well. But if you follow the prompts on your phone, click on that device, it's actually quite easy to set up. Next, you've got radio and media. So again, quite simple to use. You've got options that come up on the left side here, your station selection too, which is quite good. Every menu that you sort of touch on as well will have a settings option. So if you click on here, you can actually customize your car experience a bit more. The Volkswagen navigation system. So in here, so for example, let's just say I wanted to run the map in the middle as opposed to in the digital dash. Well, you can still do that. Again, it's your preference as the driver. If you wish to look up like a new location, I should say, just click on the destination symbol, click on search. You can either just start typing away for like a point of interest, or if you want to push this symbol up here, you can actually do like a step-by-step of entering of the data into. Now in vehicle, if I just select this has a lot of your driving data, so you can play around with the screen there too. So for example, I can select data here. You've also got status, so if there's any alerts, if there's any warnings, you can disable the stop-start system from this menu too, if you wish. If you click up the top, this is where you can change a lot of the car's features, whether it be if it's from the exterior or the interior. So for example, the car has its own tire pressure loss indicator, which I can just set now as well. If I go back, so for example, let's just click on the interior. With the cockpit, I can reset driving data, interior lighting. Again, you can customize it, which is quite nice too. So feel free to have a bit of a play around with that. There is quite a few sort of menus there. If you wish to run Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, this is the menu that you sort of do it from. So it's called App Connect. Very easy to use. We do have separate videos on our YouTube channel for how to connect your device. If you follow those instructions, you shouldn't have an issue. Another cool part to the car is if you click on background, you can actually change the styling of the interior colors. So if I just bring back the camera a bit, so depending on your profile, you can change the coloring of the center screen. You can change the coloring of the digital dash. You can also change the coloring of the interior lighting in certain areas if you have the additional option package. On this particular version that we're looking at though, because it is just the standard R-Line, you can do these two items here, which is quite nice. Just probably one of the last things that I want to talk about, just before we dive a little bit more into the car screen. You can actually wave your hand in front of the head unit. So for example, watch what I do. If I just move my hand like this, you can actually swipe between screens, and you can also swipe back as well. Now guys, the last thing I want to talk about, if you've swiped to the last screen from the main menu and click on settings, this is where you can adjust a few other items. So for example, if you ever need to do the time and the date, you can actually do it from here. So you can actually make it automatic. As long as you've got the correct time zone selected and you want to change your format from 12 to 24 hour time, it will actually update automatically for you too. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video, everybody. We really appreciate it. Feel free to hit that like and subscribe button as well, as it does help us out, and we'll see you on the next one.